In 3, 2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 26th of August and it's National Dog Day. And a big happy birthday to Macaulay Culkin, Melissa McCarthy, Chris Pine and Shirley Manson. The UK's energy crisis is not getting any better. The government's frozen as the Tory leadership race splutters on. The war in Ukraine has pushed gas prices to an all-time high, and now the new price cap levels left millions at risk of energy poverty. Worst of all, Britain seems to be going backwards in terms of renewable energy, with solar farm applications being rejected at the highest rate in 5 years. iGas Energy's Ross Glover says we need to get a move on when it comes to new forms of energy.
Ultimately, it would have been great if we'd started 10 years ago and had the right policy support in place to be able to do that. We haven't. Now is the right time to start.
As costs rocket, some schools are now warning they may not be able to open for a full week during winter. But Schools Minister, the Victorianly named Will Quince, doesn't sound particularly sympathetic.
We expect schools to be open 5 days a week, and over 70% of schools already do a 32.5-hour week. The IFS indeed have looked at schools and they have said that schools should be able to manage within their existing budgets.
Labour's Shadow Minister Stephen Morgan says the long-running cost of living crisis is now at the point of becoming a national emergency and needs a long-term solution.
Yesterday I was with a charity in my own constituency that was saying people are really feeling the pinch and they're hearing from people that they've not heard from before. It's really unsettling for the British public right now, and the government are nowhere to be seen on these issues.
The family of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell have paid tribute to their unique, chatty, nosy little girl who died when a man broke into a house and opened fire on Monday night. Police have vowed not to rest until the murderer is found, and Detective Chief Superintendent Mark Cameen of Merseyside Police says the investigation is ongoing.
Our officers continue to carry out extensive inquiries, and I can confirm that there are a number of very positive lines of inquiry that we are pursuing.
The murders shocked the city of Liverpool, and Everton manager Frank Lampard and some of the club's players have come together to ask people to get in touch with authorities if they know anything that will help.
We need to show strength in our community and say enough is enough. Whose side are you on?
Following the tragic death of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell, our entire community needs to come together. If you know anything or have any information on the incident, please let the authorities know.
Gun and knife crime is no part of our city, so please let's come together to help stop this.
Russia's relentless assault on the Zaparizia nuclear plant stepped up on Thursday as the final line connecting it to the Ukraine power grid was cut after a fire caused by more shelling. It appears the plan may be to connect the plant to the Russian power grid, but the longer it's offline, the higher the risk of a catastrophic failure of its cooling systems. Thursday also saw Vladimir Putin announce a new conscription drive as he looks to add over 130,000 additional troops to the Russian army. With no sign of wavering from Russia, defence analyst Professor Michael Clark was asked if all the international sanctions are having any effect.
The Russian economy, underlying economy, is not doing at all well. They are a cash-rich economy because of energy, because of gas and oil prices. That's all they've got.
Ukrainian President Zelensky, who spoke to Joe Biden on Thursday, says the Ukrainian determination to win the war remains strong.
Let's not retreat from our path. Let's express gratitude to everyone who supports us, take care of our state, preserve our unity, the same unity as every other day over these 6 months, and no enemy will be able to defeat us.
The mass shooting at Uvalde's Robb Elementary School left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, one of the worst school attacks in over a decade. Worse, as security camera footage emerged, it became apparent that the local Texas police waited outside the classroom for 77 minutes before finally confronting the shooter. Now the police chief responsible has been fired. Pete Arredondo, who maintains he didn't know he was supposed to be in charge, has been on leave since June. He was fired at a public meeting where one of the students who survived was the first to speak.
I have messages for Pete Arredondo and all the law enforcement that were there that day. Turn in your badge and step down. You don't deserve to wear one.
Mr. Board President, I move that good cause exists to terminate the non-certified contract of Pete Arredondo effective immediately.
Still to come on the Smart 7, it's the end of an era at Radio 1, and maybe, just maybe, Superintendent Ted Hastings is on the way back.
Right after this. Welcome back.
Thursday saw the Champions League group stages draw, with Barcelona set to face German giants Bayern Munich. British teams came out OK, with Liverpool and Rangers in the same group, Chelsea facing AC Milan, Celtic facing Real Madrid, while Spurs and Man City both have relatively easy propositions. The weekend sees the return of Formula One with the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's all to play for as the second half of the season gets underway. Championship leader Red Bull's Max Verstappen will be hoping that rivals Ferrari and Mercedes will end up fighting each other for second spot, but is completely focused and ready for whatever the grid throws at him.
I will never be perfectly happy. You cannot be. I mean, we're not robots, everyone makes mistakes, and we can always do better, myself, the team, and that's what we always try to look at, how can we be better, how can we perform better.
It's the show we all love, even though they still use bloody cassettes to record interviews. It's Line of Duty. And just as we're all just about getting over the trauma of the end of our favourite Please show, they pull us back in. The One Show had coincidentally booked Superintendent Ted Hastings or Adrian Dunbar and DI Steve Arnott or Martin Compston to chat about their new projects, but somehow, magically, talk turned to Line of Duty. So, for the tape, will there be a season 7?
There's always a chance, but if I answer it, there's a good chance I'll be killed off in the next it's been 10 years now, and the fact that people still want us back after 6 series is an amazing feeling. But it's my stock answer, but we've not done anything different than we've always done. We always take a long break, and if Jed thinks there's a story to be done, we won't do it just for the sake of it.
It was the end of an era on Radio 1 on Thursday as long-time pop picker Scott Mills and sidekick Chris Stark hung up their AirPods. Scott's shuffling down the corridor to Radio 2, where he'll be doing some serious jockeying instead of Steve Wright, and Chris heads off to annoy Roman Kemp on Capital Breakfast. But before they went, Scott and Chris gave us a proper old-school farewell show.
It's been more than half my life sat here talking to you. And if you ever feel there's no one there, or if you feel lost, or if you feel there's nothing good around you, I'll say one thing to you. Turn on the radio.
Maybe time for one last song? OK, why not?
It's now time to make a change. Leave Radio 1. It's not easy, you're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.